Yeah, there's another one in the fridge if you're really jonesing.
I do not need a whole another one. Although
I got some athletics, a couple fresh hops, second sight. I got a Piglet Grisette.
Still?
Is one of these IPAs?
Outside.
What we're drinking now?
This is Emperor Citra.
So it is an IPA.
Okay, then I got a story.
Okay. Yeah, this is the follow-up to King Citra from Fieldworks. Yeah. This is now the double dry hopped version of the original Citra, I believe. But I can't remember if the King Citra was a hazy.
Do you have an IPA story? Because I got a funny story as well. But if you got an IPA story,
well, I have a new life development with IPAs. Welcome to another episode of the American Beer Review Podcast.
Good times with good friends requires good beer. Lucky for us, we know how to pick all three.
We're a group of friends who grew up in the Pacific Northwest, giving us a jump start on our craft beer journey.
Join us today while Brian... I pride myself on not getting to know other people, so do not put that on me.
Alec.
So the bananas up until like the 60s were an entirely different species of banana.
And Chad. It hit me like a wrecking ball.
Review some beer, talk about beer topics, and whatever else comes up. We invite you to pour yourself a drink and hang out with us.
Okay.
I mean, you guys know I'm the beer snob of the group.
Yep.
And if we're going to, I mean, you guys aren't quite to the captain status of only drinking light macros.
Correct.
But if we go to some place, you might get an IPA, and then you're switching to Coors or whatever.
It's a good litmus test.
Right?
I had like 4 or 5 different craft beers at the Travis Scott concert.
Which is hilarious. So many questions there. But to me, I would drink them all night, right? We talked about that one day I came in here and I'd had like 5 different fresh hops the night before.
What? Oh, okay. Keep
right?
going, because I know why it changed.
Do you know why it changed?
Yes.
What?
You have multiple children now, and you're not allowed to sleep in anymore.
No, well, I guess that's sort of it. When we went to Corvallis for the Oregon State game, went to Block 15 Brewing, great brewery, by the way. We had a few beers. We went out like around town, then went back to the house. No big deal. Next day, I wake up and I'm like, I should not feel as bad as I do for the amount of beers that I had.
Mm-hmm. Drinking the high octane.
And so I said, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try this. I've had this bro science theory for a while that it's the IPAs that are causing my hangovers to be worse.
IPAs or IBUs?
IPAs.
Okay.
I mean, which are somewhat related.
Hand in hand, yeah.
And so...
it's the alpha acid's fault.
So the day
In theory.
Yes. So the day of the game, I had a no IPA day.
Okay.
And probably had more beers that day than the night before. Woke up feeling much better than the day before. And since then, I have not had, I think, more than one IPA a day, if at all.
Yeah.
And hangovers have been reduced. Severity of hangovers have been reduced. And I'm disappointed.
Right?
I'm very disappointed. But I think that's growing up and getting older. So speaking of that, what are we drinking today?
I think it's just getting older as you're more cognizant of it.
Yeah.
When you're younger, you go, yeah, I'm going to sleep the day away. Nobody cares. Right. Maybe my girlfriend will be mad at me or whatever. When you have to actively wake up and take care of human beings and you can't just spend an extra 20 minutes in bed, and in fact, you're waking up 2 hours before you intended to wake up, you just feel it significantly more.
It's probably a bit of it, though. But going back to our last one, I'm drinking Irish Death still. I'm drinking not like I switched to only, Busch Light or something, but I'm feeling a lot better. So,
well, speaking of the IPAs, I forgot to bring it up last episode because that was the death cast. We were talking about brutal things, and I had the gal on TikTok, I hate IPAs. In the notes, and I totally forgot to talk about it because that's pretty metal.
I forgot. I did read about
drinking
this.
IPAs that you absolutely hate, and I downloaded TikTok again, and I probably watched an hour's worth of her reviews, and she threw up multiple times. I was like, that is pretty.
Threw up?
That's
Like this,
that's metal.
just horking it into the sink, but it was like she's done it long enough. She's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna puke on this one. But
see, like,
but see,
that's
going
commitment
back
to the game, I guess.
I think they're because that bitterness, like when we were cave people, if something was bitter,
It meant bad.
don't eat it.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Yeah.
And now we're just force feeding ourselves pint after pint of super hoppy, like putting all the. So there's probably
alternating it
something
with coffee.
that bitterness. There
Yeah.
probably is something in there. Like your body's going, what the fuck are you doing? Eating all of this?
Although I do.
I need to
sometimes
punish
think-
you.
I think it's the hazies that are actually sometimes worse, even though you don't get that like general
No.
you don't get the bitter flavor. But like we've talked about before,
They
just
have more
because you're
sugar in
not
'em.
getting the bitter flavor,
They got sugar in them.
well, and they're still putting a lot of hops in there. They're just not
calories.
putting bittering hops.
Yeah.
So
And that's where we get to today. So this is Fieldworks Brewing. We had their King Citra. This is their...
We coronated the king.
Yep.
The king is dead. Long live Emperor Citra.
Emperor Citra. A DDH double IPA. I'm going to leave Brian to figure out what a DDH double IPA is. while I
double
get-
dry hop.
Okay. We already
With
got
Citra.
it. Not just Citra. 8.7 ABV. With Citra Incognito, and Citra Cryo. So blend of different Citra hops. I don't know what the difference is between them. And the,
Cryo is like a frozen
Yeah.
version, but like can last like so that you're not needing to do it as fresh. It also holds on to some of the I want to say it's like lupulins or something that like will come out a little more in that. So it even though it's the same being like Citra,
right.
it's still going to be a slightly different flavor profile based on Cryo compared to almost like more punchy.
Because they were frozen and
Yes.
thawed back
We've
out.
had the Incognito, the Citra Incognito. Probably in King Citra,
Probably could be.
but I don't remember what that was. So King Citra has reigned over our kingdom of double IPAs longer than King William IV reigned over the United Kingdom, which is no small task considering the maniacal frequency we have rotated our hoppy beers over the years. And the only way we could seek to improve and not replace was to immortalize King Citra in a double dry hopped form and inject it with a healthy dose of Citra Incognito and Cryo to concentrate all of what this Octavian hop can do, 16 ounces at a time, splashing up intense notes of orange, candy wedges, fresh mango, juice, passion fruit jam, papaya, lemon zest,
Whoa.
and hints of peach puree. What is an Octavian hop? I've looked at that. I tried to do the research on that and could not
Give me a second.
find it out.
I've never heard of that one.
Try doing the research. I don't know what classifies an Octavian hop.
Octavian hop?
Yep. It's like an octogenarian, but it's Octavian hop. I don't know. Maybe it's
Making up words.
this
Oh.
Octavian.
It sounds cool.
So there is a this is on polishhops.com. Octavia, but this one is spelled Oktawia, but since it's on a Polish website, that
yeah.
does make some sense. And it shows it as a hybrid
So maybe
of Brewer's Gold and Northern Brewer.
so is Citra
Okay.
one of those?
Yeah. So, but I don't new wave hops. I mean, it's got a bunch of information about it.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm getting all that juice that they were talking about. Is this a juicy IPA, Brian?
I haven't tried it yet. I mean, it's definitely hazy.
It's
definitely hazy.
but hazy by design or just hazy because
I
Of
would,
all of the dry
Yeah.
hops?
yeah, probably some of that. Well, but the
But
hops
beautiful- but-
shouldn't, because you can get a crystal clear double dry hop, so that shouldn't change the.
And I don't remember what the King Citra looked like.
kind of like this, a little more orange. I think
it wasn't
if I
clear.
remember.
It was
Yeah.
I had just
Look
looked
at
it up.
this is kind of a light straw, but all the
Light
haziness.
straw.
All the haziness is kind of
there's
lightening up.
someone else's picture of it, but like,
Yeah,
Of King Citra.
King was a little
okay,
more
so this
orange.
is a little more
Just a little
orange.
lighter.
Yeah, a little bit lighter color.
mm-hmm.
King William, because they referenced.
Okay, so I was like, what was he a king for like 3 days, or like what's the how long?
Just under 7 years.
Oh, that's actually more than I expected. Okay.
1830, June 26th, 1830 through June 20th, 1837.
What actual useful information did you have to squeeze out of your brain to be able to remember that?
For brain.
One of these days, something's gonna happen. You're like, God, why do I not know this? You're gonna be like, well, but I do remember the King
And
William.
someday
rule from...
he's gonna be watching Jeopardy in a group of people and just totally, like, it's gonna be a Final Jeopardy question.
Oh, that is
Knock it out of the park.
My dad's got a shirt. It's like, I'm Papa. I fix things and I know things.
Yeah. This smells almost like I opened a bag of Citra hops. Like right before we're brewing it.
Yeah.
Like you open those pellets.
Mm-hmm.
You know how we'd pass it around before we dump it in?
Yeah, take a huff.
Like this smells like that pack of hops.
And not very astringent on the taste.
No.
Very sweet, very smooth, almost, I dare say, buttery.
Yeah.
Mouthfeel.
If you weren't giving us a little bit of a reprieve in the next episode, I would say these are planning on harvesting our kidneys.
Because of the booziness
an
that he's just
8.7.
doing.
We're gonna start off with a lager next time. Don't worry.
But
There's an IPA after that. But
for a double IPA, 8.7 is kind of par for the course.
Yeah, no. I know. It's
again, like, you know, this beer epitomizes why I am pissed off about my apparent body's choice to react to IPAs.
oh, because this you could drink and go.
It's what I like. It's what I want to have.
Yep.
It's what I like.
give me this at 6.
It doesn't matter. Yeah. Having one of these at even 8.7.
It's what Brian craves.
But then I'm going to go, I can't then switch to a West Coast at 6.2 and then have a regular IPA at 5.8 and then be like, okay, well, I guess I'll switch to light beers now. It's like, no, man, it's too late.
Yeah.
It's too late. You've already done it to yourself.
Damage is done.
Like, but it smells delightful. Like, this is one, I don't know if I've talked about it on here. I have a bad habit. So my wife's gluten-free.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So we can't go and split beers anymore, which is a big bummer and kind of like ruins some of the
whole beer
fun.
for yourself.
I just have to drink it all by myself.
But it makes it so that when I'm like, hey, let's go to a brewery.
Oh.
It's no longer an us thing. It is a
You
me
thing.
thing where she just sits there and hopes that maybe they have something that she can have.
Yeah.
But we used to split stuff. Like this would be one that she would absolutely have enjoyed. And so now she just smells my beers.
Okay.
So I'll open a beer and she just smells them and is like, it's fun. She still plays the game of like, ooh, is that a Belgian? Oh, is that a whatever? But this is one she would smell and be like, okay, I would have really liked that.
Yeah.
The problem is I started doing that at our house, like sitting down for dinner and doing it.
So now you're announcing every time you open a beer? That's a stupid move.
Do you know, well, only the good ones. Do you know who now has taken to smelling my beer? My son.
Your child.
Yeah. So now anytime I have a new beer, he wants to smell it, but he tells people he tried my beer.
So
He does not, for the record. Never drank it, but he does smell them.
this only came out like a month or came up like a month or so ago. Last New Year's, we get together for whatever, Dude's Giving.
Which we got to talk about
Yeah. Okay.
in light of events that we discussed in our last episode.
Okay. We'll take that off air, maybe.
UW's playing on January 1st.
Oh, yeah.
We had my son taste the beer because we were drinking whatever
we did. Oh,
yeah.
an NA.
We were drinking an NA beer.
Oh.
And it was like, hey, do you want a sip of this beer?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, this is the worst thing ever. It was like seriously 9 months later before my wife was like, well, he's had a beer. I'm like, that was a beer flavored
like
drink.
Beer flavored water. Like it's
0.05 or 0.5%. But yeah, just...
Oh, he's had beer. Like
she legitimately thought I gave my son...
You're sneaking him a Bud Heavy.
My 13-year-old son a glass of beer. He did not have a glass. No. He had a sip, but
of NA.
Of NA beer. And realized it was gross and he didn't want anything to do with it. I'm like,
good. Okay, you kicked that can down the road a few more years.
Perfect.
It's basically like same thing Alec did to me when I turned 21.
If I had known or had access to better beer, we could have come up with something. But we weren't even into beer.
I don't even know what you could have found back then.
It's
I mean, founder-based Scotch ale. I could have given him whatever. It's what we had in the fridge.
You did live in Bellingham, so it's not like we couldn't have.
We went out to breweries.
No, we did not. We went to bars. We didn't go to breweries. Yeah. We didn't know that breweries...
But breweries really didn't have...
pay for breweries.
Well, also that.
Breweries used to be super bougie.
Well, it just wasn't like...
Because there's only like one or two of them in the entire state that you could actually go.
Oh, no. By that time, I'm bound to have been around. Yeah, there was a lot. It was just the...
Back in my day.
Well, we were going more for the experience.
Yeah.
On where the college kids... We were in college,
at the time,
so it was, we were going for the college kids and the party and the experience, and we were going out.
And trying to get them to make a flaming Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't light it on fire.
Liability.
Rude.
So Fieldworks Brewing.
We've out of Berkeley.
We talked about obviously the King Citra.
Yeah.
Kind of cool deal. And they got a lot of locations.
Yeah, we talked about that last time, that it was like kind of shocking and surprising.
And how many they have.
Yeah. 2 for 2, I think, on knocking out of the park. We talked a little bit about this. Like I said, the aroma is very much hop forward, but smelling like Citra hops. So even if you're not into the hoppy aspect of it, it's still going to produce a really like positive citrusy like smell to it. You were talking about like guava and papaya and some other stuff
from their website.
Yes.
So
I don't know.
Gotta get that.
I don't think I'm as good at getting all of those notes.
No. You get them all at the end.
Is this thick, fruity goodness? And not thick like a smoothie we've talked about before.
Yeah.
Yes. Like, this to me is, and they don't call it this. Going back to your comment from earlier, this to me is a New England. This is New England style IPA. Yeah. This is hazy. This is thick.
This is the hazy
This is
style
thick, hazy, juicy. Yeah. Yes. Not like, oh, hey, we just didn't filter it, or the ones that call themselves...
We just threw a bunch of weed in it to make it thick.
Yes. The problem I have, and it's just me, so don't worry about it, Fieldwork, is if I buy this one, double dry hop IPA,
okay,
I'm probably going to think it's clear.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And I've had this a few times where you buy a beer and there's nothing on there that is telling me. Because there are some people who are going to pour this, see it thick, and like that, and just be like, that's not what I want. That's not what I'm looking for. But you could still get a double dry hop, double Indian IPA somewhere else, and it's going to be clear. It's going to be more like West Coasty or those types of things. But there's nothing on here that's going to let me know that it's that style.
So we review beers.
We do.
Yeah, so we pour them into glasses.
Thought it was just an excuse to drink beer.
And don't tell my wife.
Kind of is.
Because she doesn't listen, so it doesn't matter.
That's exactly what it is. If you bought this in a can, which we did, and you're going to drink it out of the can, which you probably shouldn't.
I don't anymore, but yeah.
Closing your eyes. Does it taste like a hazy or I'm
going to say yes. Because it is not...
And I think so, too. There's a little bit more...
It's not
cloudier
bitter.
mouthfeel.
Mm-hmm. It's a thicker feel. There's not the crisp or bitter punch of that style of IPA.
No, I would peg this as... If this was in our blind beer test, I would have pegged this as a hazy or a juicy.
Yes, if you're pouring this...
Maybe not juicy, but hazy.
If it was pouring for that challenge we had... trying to figure it out.
We both probably would put this in
I'm calling this a New England Hazy IPA.
And going to Untapped.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
it is listed as Imperial IPA / Double New England / hazy on Untapped.
You're right. So is King Citra.
Okay.
Yes, and I think I can't remember what they had to list on Tavour, but I think it was listed as a hazy as well.
Yeah,
maybe.
Well, not hazy, but New England. So
we'll see. I'm gonna finally pull the can out of storage. I have to do the Instagram post. Pull out all the.
You still got a King Citra?
I still have the original King Citra can. He's got his crown. I think I'm gonna.
Okay.
He's gonna be stabbed in the back by his own sword.
Because you have an Instagram post for it. I will not say break it out and let's do a side-by-side comparison.
Yeah.
But
no, I don't.
And because you're not wanting to drink another 8.7 IPA.
I don't want to do that either.
Oh no, I don't have a living can of.
Oh, okay.
I have the empty.
You planned ahead.
Empty.
Okay,
yeah.
Awesome. Look, one of us does.
There's no way you planned for this.
I had a thought in the back of my head that maybe they'd have a follow-up to King Citra.
I kept it. This is why I stopped doing the social media.
Right.
Because number one, it stressed me out.
Oh, yeah.
Terribly. Number two, he's just better at it.
Number three, I have multiple rooms in my house where I can just throw shit to store it.
I will also tell you,
without the threat of small children trying to maim themselves with it.
Half of the stuff that was really good that I posted,
didn't do.
I didn't come up with, or I like. Hey,
I'm not
wife
even. Yeah, your wife's like got the most views.
Yeah,
she's got like the top 5 posts.
Can you please come up with this thing for me while you sit at home with our children and our
She knows the right.
break?
She knows the right trending songs to use. That's the ticket.
Yeah, because she just scrolls through. Well, right now while feeding her son, just scrolls through reels all the time and sees them. So she's more up on it. So,
all right. Well, fridge this one.
Yeah. I don't, like
a double hazy IPA is a tough fridger. Mm-hmm. I don't remember. I should have listened back and see where I placed King Citra.
So you did homework, but not enough homework.
I did not do enough.
But it's probably good you had a clear mind to enter this instead of letting the king.
Yeah, shade my judgment.
Yeah.
Emperor might have taken King's place.
Yeah.
I don't remember the King being as hazy.
It was more orange juicy.
It was a little bit juicier, a little bit.
The smell on this, like,
is
divine.
Pretty good.
Is gets there. I would buy a mixed 4-pack.
Okay.
And have them.
One of these in there.
Just let them kind of roll and like once or twice a year buy a new 4-pack.
That's where I was going. It's like a beer fridger, but like it's not a seasonal. It's just kind of not a like constant. I need this in the fridge.
Yeah.
But like
every once in a
while, I'll have it in there. And
here's what I can relate this to.
Okay.
So because they seem to be like not maybe as much. One of my favorite brewery Structures has Fuzz, which is their like house IPA. It's a hazy. They will do different versions of it all the time. I will always buy the new version anytime I see them around. And then every once in a while, I circle back and grab the OG. That's what I see with this. If I'm in the area and that's like the brewery, I might always have one of like once a year or something. I'm buying a 4-pack of the main one. And then anytime there's that new one, I'm going to seek it out and go grab it.
And it'll be interesting when
if you come up with like a Czar, Citra, or a...
God Emperor.
Yeah, what's other...
Oh, yeah. Now that Dune is finally coming out.
Caesar Citra.
I know somebody would pick up on that.
Yeah.
Just wasn't going to be me.
Well, because they could actually start... we'll see if the new Wonka gives them any Timmy Chalamet ding dong, a little extra juice going in the Dune. I want it out and done so I can watch them both back to back.
Yeah.
And I also want the director's cut of the entire thing.
I was going to say, would you do a double header in the theater?
Yes. IMAX. That would be the first IMAX movie I would go and see, is just no break. We're going to give you an empty 5-gallon bucket, just piss in the bucket.
Yeah. No, that one visually was...
You can bring in a cooler and a piss bucket. There's 6 hours of Dune.
Yeah, but stop reading after the first book.
Oh, I have done the YouTube dive and Wikipedia for everything past the
absolutely
first book.
Insane, and it detracts from the quality of that initial book.
And then there was a podcast I listened to, and they basically went, yeah, everything after the first book, if the guy was having a shitty year, that was his therapy. Like he was getting divorced. The main character is just having sex 24/7 because this guy is going through a horrible, awful divorce because he's a kind of a piece of shit.
He's not a great
he's kind of a turd human
person. But
anyways, that's Dune.
Yeah, you fridge it?
Beer fridge, kind of the same idea as you guys. One of those ones. It sucks. It's not local. If this is local, yes, I would. I would keep this and the King side by side in the fridge.
Just gotta move to Berkeley.
Definite beer fridge material.
Cool. All right, our glasses are empty. Hopefully yours are too. We'll catch you next time. So, tasting notes. The clock strikes noon as King Citra awakens in his parents' basement with only one thing on his mind: battle. He straps on his cardboard chainmail, arms himself with his pool noodle broadsword, grabs his brown bag lunch, and heads to the Olone Park to continue his campaign. With towering aroma of Mom's fresh squeezed orange juice and tangerines freshly picked from the backyard, no one will be competing with the King today. A thick and full mouthfeel creates an orange whip-like profile that sticks to the palate with a refreshingly dessert-esque fervor, slowly giving way to a soft bite of carbonation. As the sun sets across the horizon, King Citra fires thunderbolt after thunderbolt at every taste receptor, till they are overwhelmed and he struts away, crown atop his head, still reigning supreme over his empire of IPA. From their website.
If you are picking up what we were putting down, please like and subscribe on your podcast platform of choice, and reach out to us at A Beer Review on social media if you have a beer you would like us to review.